Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. Our show today is the United Kingdom News and Culture, and joining me is our fabulous panel with experience in broadcasting worldwide. Let's welcome DIANN, FLOYD, BOEHM. Hello.
Good morning, Dr. JACALYN.
Nice to see you, DIANN. And joining us, Mr. Ian PELHAM-Turner, a legend in the broadcasting industry. Hello.
Good afternoon. Did you say legend or legend?
Legend. Welcome. And also joining us, another legend, TV presenter, celebrity chef, and so much more, Simon MacDonald. Hello.
Hello, legend of my own lunchtime, I suppose. It's nice to be back. I'm sorry I missed the last couple of weeks there. I've like all good teachers, I've brought a note.
I was wondering, where is Simon? So we're happy to have you. And Helena Chard has the day off today. So this is our panel. So who wants to start? What's going on in your world? Let's go with DIANN. You've got a ton of things going on, DIANN.
Oh, I was all ready to hear about the UK.
Well, let's start a little. Let people get to know us a little bit.
Okay, sounds great. We finally got rain after like 4 months of no rain. A major drought here we had in Texas, but rain came and I was so happy, and my plants are smiling, and so that's exciting. The cows are mooing louder now because they're so happy. I thought I saw a cow doing a rain dance. It was so happy. But in Texas, no, we're doing great. Everyone's looking for the fall, and even I'm starting to dress as if it's fall, praying that the cold weather will come. That doesn't happen in Texas, really.
DIANN, what about A Time to Fly? We want to hear about that.
Oh, sure. So thank you so much, Dr. JACALYN. So my latest children's book, A Time to Fly, and I'm reaching to grab it so you can see it. I'm so proud of it. Is out, and it's doing very well. And I'm really excited about. And it's all about a book. It's really for everyone. You know, because there's moments in our life that we're afraid to do something, and then we do it, and then we're like, oh my gosh, why was I so afraid? You know, and so anyway, the little bird finally soars. And what do we want everyone to do that we love? We want them to be able to soar in their life. Thank you, Dr. JACALYN.
Thank you, DIANN. Beautiful. I appreciate you sharing that. How about you, Simon MacDonald? We haven't seen you in a couple weeks. What's been going on in your world?
Oh, did you really miss me?
Yes. Of course.
Oh, that's made me day, that has. But yeah, no, I've been busy. I got too much sun last weekend, so hence the reason the nose is peeling a bit, the head's peeling a bit. I'm just very appealing. Went down to Englandshire with Isla, our golden retriever, and entered to the big championship dog show there. It was actually supposed to run over 2 days, but we did one day. It was just so hot, about 32 degrees. It wasn't fair on the dogs, so I decided that's it. We're coming back home on the Sunday. So it was a long drive down, a long drive back, but fabulous day at the show. It was 237 golden retrievers were entered into the show. It was big. So that's it. And this weekend, off down to Birmingham, even further down the road than where it was last week, for another major championship show with Isla. So she'll be strutting her stuff, and hopefully it's not going to be too bad there. In between times, still busy with the fisheries and promoting our fishing industry on the global scale. And the weather's been actually quite good for us just now. It's been it's been pretty calm, and so the fleet's been at sea and having a great time. Tobermory lifeboat got called out the other day because one fishing trawler just got a little bitty too close to the rocks and got hung up in a falling tide. So he was sort of hanging around, shall we say, for a while. Fortunately, no damage to the boat, only to his reputation when he got back ashore that night. So busy times here.
Well, congratulations to you as well.
I didn't know you did dog shows. I love to go to dog shows.
Yeah, I know. I mean, do you not see my ears are getting so long and flappy now? and got a nice wet nose and a waggy tail. I won't go into that bit.
How's Isla doing with all the new success and fame that's come her way?
With Isla, oh, she's just taking it in her stride. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, she's so lovely." So yeah, and then she knows it too. She just laps it up, shall we say? So yeah, she's really got quite adept at strutting her stuff, and practice her every day as well, just to keep her in frame of mind for it. But in dog shows now, it was a few years since I've last been involved doing dog shows, and they're now far bigger and far more sophisticated. This one down near Leeds at Wetherby Racecourse, it was, I think all in all, there must have been about 3,000 or 4,000 dogs there of all different breeds.
Oh my gosh.
The Golden Retriever class was 237, which is pretty big.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
That is incredible. And, I'm going to reach for something. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. I just want to show you a picture of my dogs, and only because the one in the middle, she was a show dog and she loved all the attention. She was constantly like posing. So you can see she's the one in the middle.
Oh, look at that. Just, absolutely perfectly festive setting there and so on. Dianne's talking about the fall or autumn coming now, and you're looking at Christmas time. And I've just been, sort of doing some emails regarding the Boston Seafood Show for next year. So times are galloping on.
Yeah,
Tell us about the show for next year. Where might it be?
Well, the Boston Seafood Show will be in Boston.
In Boston.
Boston, I like it. What a surprise.
I was there last year. It was fabulous. And of course, everybody was in great form because, it was the first time in 2 or 3 years that any of these shows have been going on. So it's I think, actually the biggest seafood expo in North America. And then that will be followed a month later by the Barcelona Seafood Global Expo, which is the biggest seafood exhibition in the world. And it looks as if I'm going to be strutting my stuff and giving seminars and lectures on how to make an exhibition of yourself, basically. So it's going to be a busy schedule, and I'm really looking forward to it. So a lot of people in Boston, I know, are wanting me to come back. I think I must owe them some money or something like that.
I think it was that kilt. Come on.
Yeah, well, that kilt as well. Goodness, that kilt. Walking more than sort of 2 or 3 yards, and people would stop and say, "Oh, I love the kilt. Can we have a photograph with you?" So that kilt is probably the most photographed piece of clothing in all of America.
And you wear it well.
Yes, he does. Didn't you get a picture of him going up the escalator in that kilt?
No, I edited that one. I had to edit that one out because, being a true Scotsman and all that, it could. And this is a family show.
Yes. I
don't like to brag.
Thank you for sharing that. We're going to go over to Ian, but we do have a couple of comments from a Facebook user. The current PC isn't allowing for sound again. However, congratulations, Dianne, Floyd, BOEHM, and hello to Ian, Simon, and Dr. JACALYN. I hope to catch up on this today when I'm seeking another PC to catch it. And also, I'm enjoying the energy, though, even without sound. Well, thank you. We're sending positive vibrations out there. And speaking of Mr. Positivity,
sign language.
Let's go over to Ian Pelham-Turner. What's going on with you?
It is so busy, as you can imagine, at the moment. It's really coming into convention season right now for people like myself. So I was at a convention over the weekend for 100 successful. Hello. There's something tinkling. The 100 successful women, and that was very, very interesting. A lot of women from across the world had come to London to talk about their ventures, really offer ideas to other women, offer confidence and values, and promoting their businesses at the same time. And I hope that's going to be of interest. And my next one is in about 10-12 days time, where apparently Americans especially are coming across to London, quite high financiers and the like, but they're coming from around the world, and they're having a 2-day event that I've been invited to as well. And I'm supposed to be asking questions apparently to some of the Middle Eastern royal family. So it's busy from that end. And then, of course, today it is a very unfortunate day as well, because it's 25 years to the day since, unfortunately, Princess Diana passed over. So there's quite a lot going in London, and I got asked to come on NBC, but it clashed with this. So as always, your station and your program comes first as well. So that's been happening. We've got our new Prime Minister being announced next Monday. So no doubt, you know, the political show I do will be focused in on that. It's that the Queen has decided. It made me smile this morning because the Queen has decided not to break into a holiday in Balmoral, and so the Prime Minister, to become the Prime Minister, has to be received by the Queen. So he or she, and I think she is Liz Truss, is going to have to go to Balmoral on Tuesday to actually ensure that she is now accepted as the Prime Minister. So all this kerfuffle is going on. The price of everything, I have to say, smoked salmon that is costing a few more bawbees, I've noticed today. You know, there's my goodness me, the cost of it at the moment, it seems to be rising by the hour. And everybody is looking at the cost of living right now in Britain. I don't know about America, but it seems to be rising by the moment. And by the sounds of it, according to all the forecasters, people who are low paid could be paying half their income just to have energy into their homes next year. So, you know, how are people supposed to live? So the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the current one, has gone off to America. So he's with you at the moment, trying to get ideas from Americans on how to reduce the cost of living. So we'll see what happens there. But he may not be the Chancellor after Tuesday again, because the Prime Minister has to choose her own cabinet as well, if it is Liz Truss. I feel exhausted, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about.
I feel exhausted just telling you this.
Yeah.
Can I just say NBC or USA Global TV and Radio? Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, bless your heart, you know.
And I want to say that it made the news about your energy. I was listening to the BBC here in America, and it said it was going to be 80% higher for just your heating.
Yeah.
Yeah, heating and lighting and all the rest of it. In fact, it was mentioned yesterday on the radio that if you live in the Shetland Islands, if you are on a salary or income of less than £104,000 a year, you will actually be in fuel poverty. The price increase is going so much. Things on the Shetland Islands do tend to be that little bit more expensive. But, you know, sort of working that and equating it against, say, an old age pensioner who's just living and relying on their pension, and their electricity bills is going to work out about 10% more than they actually receive in their pension. So I don't know what's going to happen there. It's this is something where the government really does have to intervene big time, in particular for the Shetland Isles. I feel really sorry for them. I haven't had the figures yet for the Outer Hebrides, but I should imagine it's going to be much the same. So it certainly gets you thinking. It's going to be a very, very tough winter. And again, Shetland Islands, they get pretty extreme winters as well. So it's a case of heating or eating. That's what it boils down to.
Well, if you're not warm and you're frozen to death, you won't be able to eat. So.
Well, that cuts it all out then, doesn't it? You don't need to switch a light on.
And you know, here in America with that TV show on the Shetland Islands, I mean, we already love everybody on the Shetland Islands, so please keep people warm.
Yes, it's Shetland's quite an interesting part of the world as well. Some people sort of liken it a bit to a dark peat bog in the middle of a dark ocean, but they do have an incredible way of being able to party to extreme there as well. It's quite a party island, and it's our group of islands, should I say, and huge fishing industry as well. Of course, naturally, that's my league, but no, cost of living there is pretty hefty, and to have your electricity bill to be 10% more than your pension, these figures just don't stack up at all.
I think we're all speechless.
I know, I'm in shock, but I thought Ian was about to say something. So.
Yeah, it's just I think I was going to be flippant, and I was going to say I think Britain or the British people are all heading towards Texas. Well,
you don't understand. We use Fahrenheit here, right? So we freeze at 60 degrees, which I think is
well, send your frozen temperatures over here, because I don't know what sometimes we can be degrees under. Scotland at times, what Simon would know, can be 5-10 degrees under at times.
10 degrees. Well, that's reasonably tepid.
So just to give you
once it gets below 10, once it gets below the -10 mark, then you go and put a jersey on, and so you might even put a glove on or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
It was -15, -16 here in the winters before, and it does start to get a bit nippy then. Previous days when I was in the rescue business up in the Arctic, I think -63 was the coldest day I remember. That was a bit chilly. I even put a hat on that day.
In Florida, which I'm in New Jersey right now, but in Florida, people are wearing sweaters. They got dogs with sweaters on when it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It's unbelievable.
Because it's kind of chilly.
Well, I guess it's your blood thins.
When I came back home from living in the Philippines, my blood was so thin that I went and put a sweater on, and my mother-in-law goes, "Why are you wearing a sweater? It's 80 degrees outside." I go, "That's really cold to me when you live in the Philippines."
Well, I worked in the Philippines, and I worked to promote the Philippines and also several projects out there. And when we flew over, I think with a Dutch airline, KLM, and of course everything was temperature controlled. We got into Manila Airport, and of course there's AC in Manila Airport, and we arrived about 7 o'clock at night. And so anyway, the guy who's taken us, in the taxi. And the sliding doors open at Manila Airport, and the noise was unbelievably loud. But even worse was, it felt like someone had held a blast furnace to my face. This is 7 o'clock. This is 7 o'clock at night, and I've never known heat quite like it. And it's the only place where I got heat stroke.
Oh my goodness!
I was shooting a couple of days later, and I suddenly realised that the voices were getting further and further away, and I collapsed. And fortunately, I was in the Shangri-La hotel where we were staying, and they recognised straight away that I could have been suffering from heat stroke. So they pack me with ice, you know, there and then, and I'm sort of, you know, 24 hours, I'm non-compos mentis, really, while they're sort of cooling the body down gradually and getting me back into shape again. But it is one of the hottest. It's probably not the hottest place. It must be one of the hottest places on earth, the Philippines.
It is hot, and it's misleading. And actually, I've been to the Shangri-La. It's the one I know back in the 80s. But yeah, I'm glad they need to put that ice on you. So yeah, you have to, just like there and in Dubai, you have to have water with you at all times, and you have to actually drink it.
Well, there was a great English story in the Philippines, if I've got time quickly, just to sort of tell you. So for about 10 days, basically, it was 5-star luxury. I mean, they really, you know, it was the Philippine government that were advising me over, you know, and I'm working with the tourist authority. And then they said, oh, okay, we're going to go to a different island now. So, you know, we drive down to the quayside, you know, and I, right in front of me, and I'm with, I had an assistant at that time as well, working with me. And we're looking at all these wonderful yachts. You know, I mean, we're talking about massive yachts, you know, the millionaire, billionaire yachts. And we're thinking, oh, great, you know, we're going to go on a yacht now. And then we said to the organizer, you know, which one is our yacht? He said, oh, no. He said, and then he pointed down the way, and there's this canoe. and it was like a scene out of Hawaii Five-0. So we go on board the canoe, and we go sailing out to sea in this canoe, and Vic, my assistant, and I, we're wondering where we're going, and gradually it's getting darker, and we're wondering, well, how do they know where we're going? Because now you couldn't see a hand in front of your face, and then all of a sudden this canoe stopped in what appeared to be the middle of some ocean. And one of the guys grabbed my camera bag and jumped over the side, and all I could see was his head above the water with my camera bag on top of that. And I carried about 20,000 pounds worth of camera equipment at that time. So then I jumped over, and then Vic, my assistant, jumped over as well. And we realized that we were walking up an incline and going towards an island. And we'd been told that this island was quite special, that somebody from Britain had bought this island. So out of the darkness, all of a sudden we heard this, oh, hello! And there's this, hello! Oh, you finally arrived! So anyway, so we clamber up there, and there he is. He's got this torch, you know, the flaming torch as well. So we said, yes, we've arrived. Now, bearing in mind, we'd had haute cuisine for 9 days. I mean, you know, it was the best that the Philippines could offer. And anyway, we're climbing up the beach, and now, I mean, we are now sodden, you know, because obviously we've walked through probably about, I don't know, 200 yards of water to get up to the beach, and now but steam is coming from us because the heat is still there, and the water is already evaporating off our clothes. And the guy turns around to us and he said, I've got a special treat for you tonight. And we thought, oh great, you know, it's going to be some sort of fabulous, you know, Pacific meal. You know, we had all these thoughts about it. He said, guess what we've done? And I said, yeah, and Vic and I looked at each other, no idea, you know, but we were really, you know, looking forward to this meal. He said, I've got to cook you fish and chips. and we're looking to one another, and we're thinking fish and chips is just like a, you know, a basic meal in Britain. And he said, I've wrapped them in newspaper like you used to get in Britain. So anyway, so we had our fish and chips. And then we're looking around, and we said, you know, we're staying here for a couple of days. Yes, that's right, he said. And then we said, well, where's the hotel? Oh, I said, no, we don't have a hotel. He said, what you have to do is you see these palm trees behind you. Yeah. Okay, well, in the palm trees are tree houses. So what you have to do is in a minute, I'll get one of the bearers to go up first, and you'll go up a rope ladder, and you'll climb up into your tree house, and then basically when you're ready to go into bed, you'll go to bed, and the bearer will nail round the mosquito net so that the snakes can't get near you whilst you're asleep. Now, Vic was, he hated anything creepy crawly. He really did. He hated anything creepy crawly at all. Anyway, so we clamber up. Julie, get undressed and get into bed. The mosquito net is nailed around me. Fine. And the guy said, we said, don't worry. He said, in every room there's a mongoose. And he said, don't worry about the mongoose. The mongoose won't attack you. He said, but if any snake comes in during the night, it'll kill the snake. So, but Vic is listening to all this now. And he hates anything, as I said, creepy crawly. So anyway, I fall asleep. You go to sleep when the sun sets, and you wake up when the sun rises. The next morning, the sun had risen. The bearer came up the ladder. He took the nails out of the netting, and I'd got dressed, and I was coming down the rope ladder, and I see Vic, and we're in the middle of a jungle, really, a jungle area, and I see Vic, and he looks like Count Dracula. He's as white as a sheet. He's got the bloodshot eyes, and he hadn't slept all night. And he said, he said, I can't believe it. He said, that in reality, when I saw him, I thought he's not going to sleep for the next couple of days. And in the end, he actually slept in the boat for the next couple of days. So we're coming back, and we get picked up by flying boat to take us back to Manila. And there's a newspaper actually in the flying boat as we're flying off. And the front page of the newspaper is British painter forger has now been found on that island. And I'm thinking, I don't believe it, because apparently there was a guy who used to forge paintings, and he escaped Britain because he was making a lot of money out of producing Gauguin and so forth. And he was now on this island, and I was flying off without even knowing he was there. So sometimes it's probably good if you miss a story, but that's my Philippine experience.
Oh my goodness. Can I just say, wait, from the very beginning of the story, I'm picturing you in a suit or in your vest. You're about to get on a yacht. Instead, you walk down and get in a canoe with your shoes and your whole outfit and everything else. Then I'm imagining you're out in the ocean. This guy takes your bag and he's stealing from you. And then you decide to go after him. I'm thinking, this is an amazing full-length feature film that could be happening. I didn't imagine it could possibly get any better as you continue on.
It was a story and a half, because I think it's something like about 700 islands, isn't there, in the Philippines? It is full of these islands, and you can actually buy an island. It's quite easy to buy a Filipino island in the first place, and there's some man-made islands. And one of the places, and I think it was Boracay, which is quite a famous island in the Philippines as well. We went to Boracay, and I think that was the man-made island, if I remember rightly. And we went there, and this was a time when I was slightly less rotund than I am now, and I was on a health regime as well. We got to the island, and we stayed in this really nice hotel, and the chef in the morning came across himself personally to find out what did we want for breakfast, and I said, you wouldn't happen to have any porridge oats by any chance, would you? And he stopped for a second, and his face lit up. His face literally lit up, and he ran into the kitchen, and he says, I do have porridge oats, and I bought them 2 years ago for a guest who never used them, and he made the best porridge. Well, Simon would probably say that the Scottish porridge oats are the best, but he made the best porridge I've had in a long time, and this was in the heat of the Philippines.
Wow.
Oh, excellent. I was just sort of thinking there as well, it's just as well he went in the canoe and not one of the super yachts, because, the guy can jump over the side from a canoe and still have his head above the water. On a super yacht, there's no chance. I mean, those things draw about 10 feet.
It was like basically we were living in six. I mean, we used to work a lot with Shangri-Las, and if you know Shangri-Las, I mean they are 6-star opulence. You know, they really are. And we went to the opening of a new Shangri-La in the Philippines whilst we were over, and I've never seen a foyer quite like it. I mean, the opulence was incredible. And it was the size, you know, the average American football pitch. Yeah. It was 3 times that size. That was the foyer.
Wow.
And it was all white marble. It was huge. And the courtesy car were white Rolls Royces. And so as I was joking in actual fact, because I said to the manager, I said, look, it'd be a great picture. You know, can you bring the Rolls Royces inside? This is white marble. Could you bring the white Royces inside and we can get this picture, you know, wide angle shot, you know, of the whole thing. And he shook his head and he said, oh, we can't do that. We can't do that today. We can do it tomorrow.
So what happened?
Well, the opulence was unbelievable because they had basically the swimming pool was tiered. There were 3 tiers of swimming pools, and each side of the swimming pool was an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
My goodness.
I mean, it was absolutely unbelievable, the opulence, you know, of these places. But then Diann would know, then if you went into the shanty towns areas as well, you know, and the only thing that always amused me about the shanty towns in the Philippines was there'd be all these cardboard boxes where people lived, but each one of them had a TV aerial.
That's
It
right.
was, you know, they were there.
Yeah, that's like in South Africa as well. You know, you've got they call them locations there as well, and they're made out of corrugated iron or cardboard boxes, already all discarded timber and so on. I mean, it's quite a culture shock when you first see these places, but there is a satellite dish at each one. They might be sitting just now in Nice now watching USA Global TV. Who knows?
Yeah, they could be.
I'll tell you what, I met with our broadcast engineer, Chris, and the amount of people listening on the radio from all over the world to this program was shocking to me. I had no idea. So hello to everyone in Radio Land. We're happy to have you.
Yes, you can't see us, but yes, thank you for listening.
Yeah,
I have a question of the chef.
For our viewer who's watching on television but has no sound, thank goodness he's not watching a radio.
You're so
I didn't
good.
realize we had a comedian here on this show. I love it.
Well, neither did I. But
We were talking about food just a minute ago, and I have a question that I want to ask because this just happened a few days ago. We had a family here, and they were talking about plant-based food, and we had a plant-based burger, and I looked at the ingredients, and there were no plants in there, none listed. Plant-free. I don't get it. But anyway, what are your thoughts as a chef working with plant-based foods?
yeah, okay. You know, meat and 2 veg. Okay, the veggies count as plants, and that's it. As long as you've got a bit of fish or a bit of meat with it, just set it off and enhance the flavors. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, vegetarianism and veganism in particular seems to be very much the trendy thing just now. I do worry about, you know, people who say, you know, chicken-free chicken or, you know, fish-free fish. It's a bit of contradiction of terms. And if you're a vegan and have been a vegan all your life, would you actually want a chicken made out of a vegetable? Because how the heck do you know what a chicken tastes like beforehand if you've never eaten one? So you know, I think it's rather gimmicky what they're doing there. I mean, with vegetarian dishes, there are some fabulous dishes coming to the fore now, and you know, and more you know, adventurism going into creating of vegetarian dishes. Before it used to be, oh, you know, vegetarian menu, you know, it's quiche with broccoli in it, it's quiche with cheese in it, or you can't put cheese until it comes out of an animal, but you know, quiche with something else in it. And you know, there was no imagination, no creativity about it at all. But that's gone now, and the vegetarian recipes now are absolutely stunning. A lot of them. I must admit, I mean, I have to have my fish fix every day. Does that make me a pescatarian or something like that? I don't know. But I love fish, and we've got fish on the go tonight as well. So very looking forward to that. But and including Isla, I mean, she gets her fresh salmon every day as well, and she gets a bit of whiting now and again as well, just as a variation of the diet. Now I know Ian's going to be sitting there and thinking, God, he even gives the dog salmon. Why don't I get any of it now either? Sorry, Ian, the postal workers are on strike just now, and it's too damn expensive to send them down.
I mean, it just goes to show that, I mean, it is a worrying problem as well, and with the price of food, and it's shooting up at the moment, and we're seeing 10% price increases literally overnight right now in Britain. With things as well, and other things is because of the spring and summer that we've had. Some things like fruits like strawberries are very good, but a lot of other plants like potatoes as well. We're growing because of the weather conditions. We're growing smaller potatoes now, things like corn on the cob and all this type of thing, sweet corn. We're not getting that as well, and so the thing. I was at the supermarket today on the way back from seeing Helena actually today, and there were empty shelves or empty parts of shelves now as well, and so we're starting to see what is going to be happening next here, they are saying that by next spring we may not be getting the varieties of food that we normally get at the same time. Partly, for example, things that may be grown, under glass houses, during the winter, it's going to be too expensive to power them up. And so we won't be getting some of those things that we normally expect in Britain next year. Now they're just not going to operate the glass houses themselves either.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's going to shape up to being a really cold winter, this one. So frozen food will be on the menu on a daily basis. You've just got to blast it out the ground. It's the only way you'll be able to do it. You won't be able to dig it out, that's for sure. But no, I mean, I'm in a very fortunate area here, living in the West Highlands, and on a coastal area. So we've got plenty of fish in the sea, and there's lobster and langoustine and all these sort of things there, which you can eat on a daily basis, and they have been relatively inflation proof if you know the right skipper at the time, and the barter system always works well here as well. So actually sort of got a fabulous natural larder all around us here, and if all else fails, there's plenty of deer on the hill as well. Plus sheep and cattle and so on like that. So food's not that bad here. And surprisingly, in the nearest town to me, which is a population of about 1,000 people, we call that a town, folks. Other places might call it a hamlet, but we call it a town because it's got more than one family living there, or there more than one related lot. So in the local town, there are petrol and diesel, or gas as it is in America, is cheaper than it is in Glasgow or Edinburgh in the cities. So that's quite a sort of pleasant surprise that it's not all drastically expensive here. It is expensive, but it's not going up at the same rate as other areas. There's an advert for people. Now we're going to look at the property market here. It's going to be flooded with people wanting to move up to the West Coast.
That's just what I was going to ask. What's going on with people in terms of leaving London, moving out of London? Is there a lot of that going on?
There is. This is applying to a lot of the cities as well. I mean, this is a spin-off from COVID, I suppose, in the pandemic, because people have suddenly realized they can work from home. And to work from home, you may as well have the lifestyle, and you can get out and about. In the country here, I work away all day from home here, and I can go out, take the dog out for a walk, or go and chat to folk, come back and do a bit more work. And so long as you can be reasonably disciplined at giving yourself continuity of work from home, then it really does work. And if you focus your mind towards that, you can achieve as much, if not more, than having to go into an office. And there's no commuting time. So that saves you a bit of money there as well, on trains or buses or in your car or whatever to get to work. I think property-wise, you're going to find that office blocks, they won't be able to give them away. And I think people are going to have to get a bit creative about what they're going to do with their offices. But in the country just now, in particular around here, trying to find a house that's for sale at a reasonable price is almost impossible. As soon as they come on the market, and very often before they actually reach the market, they've been sold. And they're getting top dollar for it now as well. So property prices here have really gone up in quite a big way. So there we are.
Thank you.
What about you? What are you seeing going on in London?
He's calling the removal people now.
He's going back on his car.
I am moving in a couple of weeks, but that's besides the point. But I think what Simon says is very, very true, quite honestly. In the city of London now, even the small businesses that are the sandwich bars and the different facilities, they're suffering a lot because people aren't coming back to work so much. And a lot of the employment agencies now are getting calls from people to say, we're going to leave our present job, but we want to work from home. We don't want to be working in an office environment anymore. And so, compared to pre-pandemic, the transport system in London is only at 70% capacity compared to 2019. And so people just aren't coming back. They aren't traveling so much now as well. And I think, it's part of a situation that, unfortunately, I've been warning for a long time now, what is going to be the situation for Britain and what's the consequences of the actions that we've taken in a variety of things. And, we're going to be in a time where this type of show is going to be needed even more just to cheer people up. Because, the way I see things at the moment, I mean, we're going into panic mode right now over the cost of living. And unfortunately, I've been predicting for over a year that we were heading towards a time of severe consequence. And what's going to happen as well. And I think this government, unfortunately, I don't want to be too political, but this government's been sleepwalking into disaster, quite honestly. So we will see what happens with that. And obviously, the other thing which will be of interest to the American audience as well at the same time is how is Meghan going to be received? Next week, on the day that the new prime minister is announced next Monday, is the same day that Harry and Meghan return to Britain. So we're going to sort of see how she is received again. She's been getting a lot of quite high negative press from some of our newspapers, which is a terrible shame, I think, as well. And on another TV channel, I said recently, the Queen needs to sort of gather this whole family together and sort them out, because the reality, for me, I have a different view, and I had not a heated discussion with Helena last night about the royal family, but it got to a point we were both making our point quite plainly. And for me at the moment, as much as I used to value a royal family, now they have to get their act together as well. because we really need, I think, a united royal family, and that means Harry and Meghan as well. You know, if they don't want to be in Britain all the time, that's fine, but they could be promoting Britain as royal members in America, and that could create a lot of potential interest again for Americans coming back to Britain. But I don't know what the two of you think on that.
I have some thoughts. Dr. Jacalyn, go ahead.
No, you're the guest, please.
Okay. Well, when they were getting married, there was teas all over Dubai, and we all watched. It was, you know, luncheons, teas. It was incredible, and I was part of all of that, and so proud to see this wedding take place. I could have never dreamed that they would have left and came to America, because, you know, Harry, I mean, yes, he's royal, but he's also he has a family. And so the press over here in America has been horrible. And then when Harry made his UN speech and kind of put down part of Americans, that didn't go over very well in the newspapers. And so, I don't know, he always seems so sad. So I don't understand, and this is the question that comes up a lot, is when they left, isn't Meghan no longer royal because she's not of royal blood? I mean, she left all that behind, right? So how can you go in and out? That's what us in America don't understand, at least some of us anyway.
Constitutionally, I mean, obviously, I think they lost HRH status, royal status in that way, but they were allowed to keep the Duke and Duchess of Sussex title.
Oh.
Now, for me, quite honestly, and it's quite controversial, it is time for the royal family to grow up.
I agree.
Grow up, first of all, not forgetting that we pay for the royal family. They live in a very privileged situation, and we pay for them. Something like about 100 million a year is spent on different parts of the royal family, the buildings, and so forth as well. They are the servants of the people, not the other way around. And it is time now for me, you know, and people like myself, I spoke out against it recently because I think Meghan in particular was treated extremely badly during the recent royal celebrations. And, you know, in fact, it turned into an early, I was doing a breakfast show on another channel, and, you know, it almost turned into a confrontation. And then afterwards, I came out of the studio and I thought, you know, I've got to say it as it is. You know, that's what I do. And within an hour, I came home and I was trending across the world with what I was saying, because, you know, I think, you know, it is time now. You know, we need a united royal family. Because part of it is that it's one of the major attractions of Britain. And if Harry and Meghan want to stay in America, that's fine by me. You know, that part of the reasons why they left in the first place is that they wanted to come off what was known as the civil list. And they get something like, I think Harry gets something like about $2.5 million a year. It's very similar to what William gets as well, from the civil list, to allow them to do certain things. And he wanted to come off the civil list. He still wanted to do some of his charitable activities, as did Meghan as well. But that they wanted to sort of earn their own living at the same time. And for me, in a modern age of royal families around the world, what is wrong with that? I don't get it. I don't see what the problem is with that at all. But it is quite a controversial view in Britain. I don't see the problem because, you know, no one condemned the Queen. You know, I mean, the Queen gets 800,000 visitors a year coming through Buckingham Palace, but when she's away, So there's a commercial activity there. Prince Charles has the Duchy of Cornwall, which is really his private living as well. And so I don't get these days why royal families cannot have commercial concerns as well. It's a modern age, that we're living in now. And if they wanted to go to America, they would make tremendous, if they came back into the fold, they would make tremendous ambassadors for Britain, I think, if they were part of the royal family again in America. And America is really, apart from China, is our largest tourism followings in the world. Americans have kept British tourism going to a large extent, along with the Chinese, for many, many years. And we want Americans back. I'm very proud of Britain, but at the same time, anything that seems to be promoting Britain right now in a positive way, and this is what the royal family should be doing. I think it's very important for them to come back together again, and whatever happens behind the scenes is of no consequence. That the public view should be that they're back together again. That's my view.
I agree.
Very
100%.
Profound.
Yeah,
yes.
very profound. I hope it happens, because I know I personally would love to see everybody happy again. Peace and happiness.
Well,
you tell them.
Okay, it's time for you guys to grow up.
And it's time for us to close out our show today. So thank you so much for being here. And this has been another wonderful conversation. Simon, I know that you're going to be looking into that smoked salmon. Maybe you can get like a plastic smoked salmon and say, no, I don't know. But
a smoked salmon made out of vegetables. Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to work right.
I don't think so either. Well, it's been a lot of fun and a lot of good information. And as we close out, I just want to alert everyone that our magazine, the Global Post magazine, was sent out during this show. So please go to your email, maybe your spam folder, and look for an email from Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com. Everyone here is being featured in it this week. So it's coming out every week. And instead of a newsletter, it's a magazine. And it took me days to do it. So please do have a look. I appreciate it. All right. As we go around, Diane, what would you like to leave our audience with today?
I just want to, we didn't have time to say anything about Princess Diana, but I want to send my wishes and condolences once more to the royal family, because that was a tragic loss, and Princess Diana did a lot in the world, and thinking of her right now. And thank you for giving us a moment to pay tribute to her. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Simon?
Yes, well, I'm just thinking, reflecting back to, I think it was yesterday when the moonshot, the rocket, didn't go off. But apparently there's to reschedule it for going off on Saturday. So I just made me think again as well that, and I've said it before, the sky is not the limit when there's footprints on the moon.
Very nice.
Wow. So profound, from comedian to wisdom.
Comedian to profanities, yes.
And over to you, Ian.
Okay, well, the last thought is, at the moment, we were just talking before we came on air about we're going to try and create a schools program now that unifies schools around the world, gets them talking to each other, and hopefully these are the politicians and the leaders of the future as well. And perhaps through television and through channels like your own as well, we can actually start uniting teenagers together and creating a more peaceful world.
Yes, I'm so excited about that.
Beautiful. Thank you. And my final words would be, I had an opportunity to go paddle boarding with my nephew, who is 30 years younger than I am. And the most fascinating conversations, while we were both put to the test against the wind and the current, and we were drifting out to the ocean, we were talking about business and talking about life and talking about mindset. And it was just so empowering. So my message is to get out there with your family members, do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, and really just find out what the other person's about, what motivates them, what's their philosophy. I know that I'm definitely better for it. That's my final word for today.
You didn't get arrested this time.
No, you want to hear? It's so funny you mentioned that, Ian, because I said to my nephew, we really should take our life jackets. And he said, I don't think we need them. So we're out there, and it's right where the bay is going into the ocean, and you're being pulled by the current. And all of a sudden, this wave runner comes flying around and almost knocks us both off. I had to go down to my knees, and here comes the policeman in his boat. And I thought, okay, he's going to go after them. Then he's going to see we don't have the life vests. But he didn't do anything for us. He gave them a ticket. So I will have the life. You have a good memory. Thanks so much. All right, everyone, we're signing off. We'll be coming back. The business show is on hiatus today. A lot of our team members are on vacation or on holiday. So we'll be coming back with our show at 3 o'clock. It's the men's show starring Roland Friedel and his panel of men from around the world. And today they're going to be talking about paternity leave. So join us for that, followed by a woman's prerogative. All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.